We needed to do Mars, the surface of Mars, in a controlled landscape. And the stage facilities in both places didn't compare to where we are now in Budapest, in the Quarter Studios, where they have the largest stage in the world, stage 6. And we decided that we could actually do an exterior Mars on the stage, as it was so big and so high that you could light it for an exterior and control everything. It actually looks enormous on camera. You have no doubt that with the compositing of Martian skies and distant volcanoes and craters, that you could compete with actual exterior landscapes. And we will add to those with exterior shooting in Jordan, where we plan to go in a couple of weeks, and continue, the journeys and the exterior scenes, and extend out from, the stage sets that we've done here, and with green screen extensions. When it comes to the look and the styling, that's where I think we had more of an input. Our rover vehicle and our habitat were, I think, pushing the boundaries beyond what they've been considering. Their ideas, I think, are much more practical and on a smaller scale. Since we're Ares 3, we presume that there's been 2 previous missions, which have been mostly robotic cargo missions, bringing prefabricated elements, and then engineer manned missions for assembly and getting all the systems up online on the surface of Mars. So the research scientists, which is where our story begins, can arrive and basically do a science mission on the surface of the planet, looking for resources, water, minerals, evidence of life, analyzing rocks and looking for molecular evidence of life, previous life forms on Mars. Going back to some of the previous missions from JPL, including the Pathfinder, which is pivotal to the storytelling, which is an older probe from 1997, which our astronaut Mark Watney retrieves and uses to get into communication again with Earth, is essential. They were very helpful with drawings and technical information about how that worked and the components of which we had to replicate. And we have a fully practical working Pathfinder, which we use throughout the movie. A lot of these things were discussed with Ridley, many, many production meetings, conference calls with both JPL and NASA scientists to try and discuss, what the reality was, how far we could push the technology, with what they have in mind in the future missions that they're planning. And, where necessary, how much creative license we might have in areas where there were really no clearly defined parameters. When you see the exterior of the Hermes ship, you see all kinds of solar panels, heat dissipation fins and panels, fuel cells, water storage cells, oxygen storage cells, communications modules, navigation and command modules, numbers of airlocks, and all interconnected into a whole, which, is basically a functional design, but also has a certain aesthetic of its own that we kind of like. We've tried to stay very close to practical reality and the cutting edge of the near future thinking of interplanetary missions. That's what's interesting about The Martian, because it's close to where we're going in the next couple of decades with space exploration, and with consultation with people who are actually planning it, who are guiding us, not constraining us, but guiding us. Hopefully, we've come up with a blend that makes sense and also inspires. The pre-visualization of some of the exterior Mars and deep space sequences include the marrying up of physical sets and computer extensions of the Hermes ship and various launch vehicles and landing pods. All of those had to be integrated closely with the visual effects extensions. So, and as we're shooting, we're using simulcam technology to marry up physical sets with the digital extensions so that really can compose the frames, which don't exist currently. While Ridley's shooting, he's looking both at the real camera image and the projected extension that's to come. And in that way, he can better frame his shots and direct his actors. So we know where they're going when they make these vast leaps into space. The most intriguing set of all is the gravity wheel, the practical set that we built on a huge steel structure so that in conjunction with the rotation of the visual effects outside the window, which indicate the rotation of the gravity wheel by showing the rest of the ship turning, which implies that you're actually rotating. We've built the set so it could actually move hydraulically and give a bit of a suggestion of movement physically to the set in conjunction with moving lights that portray the movement of the reflection of the sun on our solar panels of the ship and suggest movement as well. The rover itself, I mean, there's a functional picture vehicle which is actually going to be running across terrain very much like the surface of Mars on the deserts of Wadi Rum, and will have to navigate efficiently and perform for real. That's also quite a big achievement for film. We built 2 of those in record time, and I think we've blown it out of the park. This film, incorporates all the technology that we've discussed about future space travel, but not only that, it embraces, the risk and the perils in which our, characters find themselves, which are real and engaging. And I think that is the core of the movie, how the human spirit deals, with the terrifying face of total disaster and isolation. And that I think the audience will emotionally connect to strongly. How you choose to greet disaster, I think, is something that audiences will find extremely emotionally engaging.